And welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, to The View from Here, Behind Enemy Lines. Michael and I haven't been here for a few days now, and I apologize for not having gotten one out over the weekend. But we're here now. Mike, do you have anything to say?
We did have a lofty lesson that we put up, so we
That's the
recommend
last thing
that.
we did that with
Yes,
Wendy.
and for all you loads out there, all of you people that are just basically homebodies that aren't worth you aren't worth the powder that you whatever, you're useless in most cases. If you watch that particular video, you become an Ubermensch like us. All right.
Well,
so
what's new besides peace in Iran? We at least right now.
I don't think that'll ever get old. I'm sorry. That was yeah.
Sorry, what?
That's a fantastic thing.
Okay. Let's see. What am I looking for? Okay. First off, did you see that report that came out about the grooming gangs in England? It's estimated that 250,000, that's a minimum, English girls or girls in the UK have been raped and enslaved as sex slaves by mainly Pakistani grooming gangs. Okay. And the government is refusing to act on it. Keir Starmer, that piece of crap, is telling people that that this guy who revealed this information is dangerous. Is the most dangerous man that they never heard of. It's ridiculous.
Well, there was also
they'd rather protect these migrants. I think part of it is because the Islamic invasion helps the globalists. The other part of it is, I think, Muslim oil money is going into the pockets of these politicians and a lot of the English cops, and forcing them to, well, causing them, I should say, to be traitors to their own people. I think every single one of them should be tried for treason, and upon being found guilty, hanged. That's it. Bring back the gallows, England. Same thing goes, by the way, for Canada. Anyway, Mark Carney's a scumbag up in Canada. All right, what do we got here? Let's see. We haven't talked about. We haven't talked about how after the Carmelo Anthony thing, so many stupid black people have been coming out, men and women, causing hatred of whites and encouraging black people to attack whites. One guy was saying maybe we should make it like every Tuesday and Thursday to go out and attack white people. You know, hey, it's only going to work in the cities where you guys congregate, but after a while, even in the cities, even the libtards are going to arm themselves. Okay.
Roy, your audio sucks.
My audio sucks. Why does my audio suck?
Yeah, getting a lot of like almost like metallic sound, like it sounds like a one of those what's with the I forget what they're called, but they use them in music to modulate your voice.
This one here, is that any better or no?
That is better. That actually solved the problem.
Oh no, I know what it is. See this screen? The thing that holds it broke off, and I haven't used it. But if I hold it in front, then it improves the sound. Hello.
So far.
Oh man, I can't hold it throughout the podcast.
Tell you.
You what?
I have to hear something to tell you.
Rig it here. Ooh.
Oh. No reason to make fun of Jerry.
No reason to make what? Oh.
Fun of Jerry.
I can't do it. Let's see. Let me try.
You know, I hate to say it. Now that I think about it, I've never known anybody I liked that was named Jerry.
I'm going to pass on that because I know some people named Jerry. Well, actually, I really like two of them. One I graduated with. One I hung around with in the 70s and 80s. who's still around, thank God, even though he's like about 10 years or so older than me. But they're great guys, these two. Then I know another Jerry. Well, I think his problem is from when he was in Vietnam. I think something happened to him. He can be a funny guy and everything, but he sometimes takes it too far.
Right. Jerry Seinfeld does not count as one of the people because
Jerry Seinfeld is very good guy. Oh, did you see?
Yep.
You see the video of that attempted beheading on the streets of Belfast?
I heard about it.
You heard about it. You haven't seen it? That would make you very, very, very angry. Okay.
I don't need to see it to get angry.
By the way, getting back to Carmelo for a sec, the most commonsensical solution was this one guy was calling for blacks to all pick up and leave and go back to Africa. I think the stupid ones should do that. The people who are the blacks who are true Americans who love this country, who work, who do things for themselves, who raise their own families, would probably stay, and that would benefit our country. Okay, if all these losers left. Anyway, I just wanted to get that in
first
there.
of all, that's not going to because it's a great expense. It also requires a degree of courage to move to another country. So that's not going to happen. They're just talking. They're just running their mouths. Just trying to upset people. Just trying to stir the pot.
In one response to that guy's post, I saw a guy put up a meme. You see a Roman shrine. It says Rome 2,000 years ago, right? And then it shows a picture Africa today, and it shows this little thatched hut, a woman holding a baby, and a couple of kids there, and sitting on dirt, and the whole landscape is barren. So it's just a comparison that the guy put up. I know it sounds racist, but it's it is true, really. You can't compare that. Whites are supposed to be evil according to some of the racist blacks, especially the women. But where are your great classical monuments? Where are your symphonies?
Every single person walking the earth has black roots. We all came from South Africa. That's where the first modern man was. And then basically that's that. So we are all carrying the blood of Africa in our hearts.
Oh, and you can't say that African Americans, as some of them like to still call themselves, are oppressed, because the wealthiest man in the world, the first trillionaire, is an African American. His skin happens to be like yours and mine, but he's still African American. Anyway.
Absolutely. The thing is, unless you were born in Africa, I don't think you should call yourself an African American. I mean,
no, of course.
I could call myself an Italian American because my parents were Italian, but they weren't born in America either. They're first generation. So where do you stop? It's like I have no problem with somebody who wants to think of themselves as being connected to the motherland that their early roots came from. But
keep your culture at home.
Keep your culture alive. It's your choice, man.
Anyway, what kind of culture they have? Look at what's happened. Look, after the Knicks won, look what they did. They burned a school bus and they destroy businesses. What kind of celebration is that? How stupid do you have to be?
First of all, what did that happen recently?
Yeah, a few days ago, the Knicks won the championship for the first time in 53 years, I think. And instead of celebrating they go and they attack a school bus, they smash the hell out of it, and finally burn it. And they were breaking store windows and things like that. Oh, I saw this one guy who had a San Antonio Spurs shirt outside Madison Square Garden after the game, and the Knicks fans started attacking him. Now, this guy was black and he was big. I mean, he was like the Hulk. That's how he's built. And these guys are sucker punching him. He's going after them, pounding it one shot and they're down, right? So he had this whole crowd trying to attack him, and he's beating the hell out of every single one of them. It's a great video. And then the cops escort him outside, and they said, like they didn't arrest him because he was acting in self-defense. He knocked every single one of those guys who attacked him that he caught. He knocked them on their asses. Okay. And I was loving it.
Okay.
I got to find the clip and on YouTube and send it to you. You'll laugh. What else here?
Just to let you know, I finished Spider Noir. For those people who are into such a thing, it's not a bad show. I think the action scenes are interesting, but mostly, I would say the storyline is excellent.
Yeah. Even my grandson, who is only 18, I asked him if he's watching. He said yes. I said, "You watching the color or the black and white?" He said, "I'm watching the black and white version." That gives you the atmosphere, the proper atmosphere.
I talked to a guy that couldn't have been more than 30 years old today in the library, and I said, "Oh, by the way, maybe you might be interested in seeing Spider Noir." He goes, "Oh, I'm on episode 3." I go, "Oh, then you like it." He says, "Oh yeah, it's really good." So it's like it's something about it may actually touch the younger generation, which might cause a reemergence in the interest in that period.
Yeah, maybe a newfound love for noir. Maybe they'll dig up all those noir movies and start watching them. Who knows? Well, not all of them, but even if it's 5 or 10% of kids who get into it, that'd be great. A revival.
Well,
but yeah,
the nice thing
when I
is
first saw that Nicolas Cage was starring in it, I was like, "Oh, how good can this be?" And I started watching it. I'm like, you know what? This is not bad at all.
I think he did a thing where he is actually Nicolas Cage himself in a movie, and it's him playing himself.
And, you told me about this not too long ago.
Yeah. Similar thing happened with JVCD, which is Jean-Claude Van Damme. Did a movie where he is himself in the movie, and people expect him to be an action hero when the shit hits the fan, and he's just like a regular guy. It's hysterical. It's just hysterical. It's like, I'm an action hero, I'm in the movies, Stop asking me to do this stuff. It's just like,
action heroes have had that in Hollywood. They get called out by people on the street who think that, oh, you're a tough guy. I'm going to see how I do against you. It's stupid.
Well, yeah, the interesting thing is sometimes they are, because, you have to, like, there was this thing they kept asking these celebrities questions. I think they asked Bill Barr if he could. Oh man, who was the guy that was in Top Gun? Tom Cruise. If he could kick Tom Cruise's ass, and he goes, "I don't think so. The guy's a maniac." Tom Cruise is nuts, man.
Yeah, I like Tom Cruise. Whether or not he's gay, like people say, I don't care. He's a good actor, and he's accomplished a lot. I don't even care that he's a Scientologist. That bothers a lot of people. It doesn't bother me. Hey, they're doing well for themselves. I don't particularly care for the fact that they are supposed to give their church a lot of money. But hey, go ahead.
I was a Scientologist for 2 months.
2 months?
I walked away because
this is a story we have to dig into here.
I was in Las Vegas. I had just gotten there, got out of training down in Mississippi. I was a qualified radar technician, and I just got into Las Vegas, and the first day I bumped into these Scientologists, and I was curious about them, and I went back a couple of times, and then I bumped into something that I was walking in the hallway to go to another class, and I see this guy walking around with a Christian collar, that white collar that you put around your neck.
Oh, the clerical collar.
With the little,
It's called a clerical collar. Yeah.
And oh, okay. So I go ahead and I see somebody wearing that. I go, "What's going on there?" He goes, "Oh, he's a Scientologist priest." And I just basically said, "No, that's bullshit."
I didn't know they existed.
Walked away. I just said, no. Get lost in this Scientologist priest bullshit. I ain't buying that. So that was, but the thing is, like, I like some of the stuff I learned, and I guess to this day, I might still actually learn it. They did an interesting thing. They said they had these inanimate objects, and they would say, "Okay, command it to do something." So you're over there commanding an inanimate object to move, and it wouldn't move, and then you would like move it with your hand. So it was just like it was a little weird, but it actually felt
you actually
cool.
did something, so you accomplished what you were supposed to do differently than you wanted, but
Right. But you're supposed to approach all of life like that way. You're supposed to be very direct and very project power into it and so forth like that. And it was Scientology is from L. Ron Hubbard, who was a science fiction writer, which doesn't invalidate you from being, a spiritual leader. I guess you can. I don't see why not. But
look at
the
Al
thing is,
Sharpton.
yeah. So anyway, so I did that for. I only went to about four or five classes before I walked away from it, and that same day, I basically put all my money into a slot machine. I had $140, and I said, "Oh, I'm in Las Vegas. Let me put some money in this slot, just for the hell of it." And it's a payout.
Well, but you did attack the problem with force.
I got like about $20 for my nickel.
You did attack the problem with force, though.
Well, no, this is before I went to Scientology. So the thing is, I put the nickel in. I get about $20. So I gather up all the stuff because they have these coffee cups there that you can just scoop the coins up. I bring it in, cash it, and I have this stupid thought. They're giving money away. They're giving money away. I had no idea. They're giving it away. Look,
sure they are.
Nickel in,
wink,
I got
wink, nudge, nudge.
They're giving it away. And $140 later, I was broke.
But they were giving your money away to somebody else.
Away.
What?
Yeah, somebody more needy. More needy than an airman. So that was that. That was my first day in Las Vegas.
Oh, your very first day. And then you went to Scientology classes for 4 times, right?
Well, yeah.
Over 2 months, you say, or 2 weeks?
2 months, but it was like about 4 or 5 sessions.
Okay.
There's this thing
I
called
assume that
going
there's some
clear.
good. Sorry.
The idea is to go clear. 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 Clear.
I've heard that term.
Right.
But they do have some.
Clear means to basically eradicate what they call your reactive mind. That is the part of your subconscious that just reacts to things because of previous trauma. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to dig into your memories, find out where your trauma is. And they had these 2 tin cans that you would hold and a meter, and they would ask you questions. And when the meter went some way, oh, that's your reactive mind. We just measured something in your reactive mind. So then they would ask questions until finally a memory would pop out. Guess what? You have memories in your head. So eventually one of them is going to pop out and you go, oh, that was in my reactive mind. That was making me do things I didn't want to do because it was just reacting. And so there you go. So we did a bunch of that. And it was, to be honest with you, I can't remember one thing that I supposedly discovered about myself doing that. That's how important it was.
Yeah, but
But
basically,
it just
don't they kind of force you to do something in life to better yourself and so forth? Kind of like positive
well,
thinking with action.
I've been
What?
through a lot of things like that. I did AST, I did Landmark, I did some other things where you would go and try to improve yourself in the weekend or whatever. So there's usually this confronting something, in your past, either calling up somebody and asking forgiveness or whatever the thing
Right,
is.
right.
And so the thing is, like, that's common for a lot of these things. And in truth, if you're trying to evolve yourself on a you might say a spiritual level, okay, then confronting aspects of your being that are not serving you is one of the things that you're supposed to do. So
Yeah, so you can get it
so,
out of the way, out of your psyche, and move on.
right,
It's like,
and also,
somebody cuts you off. Hey, forget about it. It's only going to ruin your day if you dwell on it.
well, interesting thing. I talked to somebody about that. I had a cathartic moment when I was going down Route 19 in Elizabeth years ago, and this guy cut me off, and I used to get so angry. I used to actually speed up past the person and cut them off. I used to do this often, and so this one day the person cuts me off, and I'm about to get angry, and I know that getting angry just makes things worse because what I'm going to do is basically dangerous,
Yeah.
right? So this thought came into my mind, and I'd like to think came from the man upstairs, that bad drivers on the road is like rain when you go hiking. It's what you bought in for. If you can't curse the rain when you go hiking and it starts raining on you, just get
Yeah.
out of it, handle it, accept it. It's part of the experience. It's part of the environment. Well, bad drivers are part of the environment when you're driving, and as much as you don't like what they may have done to you, regardless what the reason is, it might not have even been malicious. It might have been, this person might be going through something. I mean, I make a couple of mistakes every once in a while. I didn't see that son of a gun. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't see you.
Yeah,
It's like,
I've done that.
yeah. So if you're driving and you want to drive in a jerk-free environment, then I suggest you go to the North Pole, because it ain't happening in Pennsylvania or New Jersey or New York or Connecticut or whatever.
Well, look, as the Ice Princess says, something like that happens to you. As the Ice Princess in the Disney film said, Frozen, let it go, let it go, let it go.
I never saw.
I don't
I
even
never
know if I
saw.
got the tune right, but you got the message.
Isn't Frozen about that girl having power and never using it?
No, she had a power, but I mean, if she touched anyone, they would turn to ice. So she exiled herself.
Okay. Well,
And then she had to learn how to control it later on. But when she got angry, she'd boom, not even have to touch her. I think she'd just go like this, and I forget exactly. I saw the film with my granddaughters, but
she could have moved down to Las Vegas and made a mint, just generating ice everywhere.
Yeah, right. The casinos would have paid her. Make it really cold so people come inside, not just from the heat, but from the cold. There are a lot of people who like the heat.
The Ice Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here's another thing. She could be another Moses, man. She could make the water freeze and just walk over. So you see, if there's ice on the pond, you can be just like Jesus and walk on water.
There's a program up in Canada. It's it's called MAID, but I can't remember what the words stand for at the moment. But this is something where they take people who are who want to end it all, or they're suffering in life and so forth, and they'll put them to death. The state will, Canada will put you to death, right? And they like doing it because it saves them money with their health care. What?
I doubt that's a terminology.
We're talking over each other. Say that again.
I said I doubt that's the terminology they use.
No, it's MAID. Yeah. Anyway, now what they started doing is they're taking people and they're going to their houses or taking them out of a car, sending them for a psychiatric evaluation, and most of the time they'll say, yeah, like, look, you're depressed or you're this, your cat died. Well, we're going to help you. We're going to put you we're going to take you out of your misery, because it saves the Canadian government money, because their health care is so vaunted that they're running out of money. Okay. And the more people they kill, the less people they have to take care of medically.
Let's not forget the spare parts. They can cut that person apart, and they can go ahead and get their kidneys to.
Yeah, maybe they'll sell the spare parts to China. No, China sells spare parts of the Uyghurs and any.
Canada offered China the opportunity to train in in winter at their location to learn their winter techniques.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would they need that? Huh?
Canada should not. It's like Crowder has said for years. Canada, because he was raised there from the age of 3 till 18. He said Canada should not exist. He said in any other era in history, Canada would not have existed for long. They would have been taken over by somebody. And now I saw a thing the other day about why it's not so stupid to think of Canada becoming a 51st state, whether we conquer it or whether they come over themselves, because they're rich in natural resources. 1, 2, they are a buffer between us and attacks from the Soviet Union across the Arctic Circle. 3, it gives us access to the Arctic Circle. Same thing with Greenland. Okay. And also, that naming the Gulf of America, that makes under international law, that means that we control who goes in and out of there. So we can keep people out, like China. We can keep them out of the Gulf.
Here's the thing. You have North America and South America there. It should be the Gulf of the Americas, plural.
Well,
that's what it should be.
The United States is the only country that can defend it, really. In fact, Europe cannot defend itself at all. There are hundreds of countries around the world that can't defend themselves without our help. Okay?
Where's this attack coming from?
What?
Where's this attack coming from?
No. I mean, the Chinese are trying. The Chinese are trying to take over ports all over the world. They're supposedly buying control of ports and everything. Okay, which is why
they lost.
They lost what?
They lost control. They lost control of the Suez Canal.
Yeah, well,
Trump already
and we took control from Panama away from them too. Okay, but they're trying all over the place. They're trying to control the ports of Cuba, which is right on our doorstep. And they're also trying to. Russia and China are both trying to buy control of ports in Greenland. Greenland, because of its location and because of its natural resources, also, it should be under our protection. It's a flank. It's a buffer state. Just like, I mean, I don't like Putin, but I do see his reasoning. You can't put NATO in the Ukraine, because the Ukraine is the buffer between him and NATO. NATO hates him. NATO hates Russia, not just him. NATO hates Russia. NATO doesn't have the wherewithal to really fight Russia, not without us. But they will do whatever they can to poke the bear, shall we say? All right. Now, I understand how Putin wants to have a buffer between him and his enemies. That's understandable. I feel the same way about us and China and Russia. We have to have a buffer between us. And if that buffer is just bases in these other countries, that's okay. Better yet, if they become part of the U.S., but just having bases there would be good. And I think we should remove all our bases from Europe and Asia and Africa, all those countries that put us down constantly. Screw them. Bring those troops over here to Canada, to Greenland, anywhere that we are, even in Alaska, so that we are better protected. One, two, nobody can. They want to hate us. Let them hate us for free. Their economies will suffer every time we close a base. Their local economies will suffer. Too bad. You brought it on yourselves.
First of all, the conflict between Ukraine and Russia proved that Russia is not the indomitable force we thought it might be.
Oh, yeah. Now, well, Afghanistan proved that.
Now, there's more. Now, in regards to Iran, the United States proved that we are the indomitable force that we were thought to be. So the thing is that the United States, with this Iran thing, besides establishing more security in the Middle East, reestablished the strength of the United States militarily.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that I don't think Russia is the threat that it was years ago. I think NATO is passé.
It's a paper tiger. They're both paper tigers.
Right. Well, the thing is that, and China, the problem with China is that they're umbilically attached to the United States and other countries. They need to have trade with those countries in order for them to exist. So the idea of China just rolling over all these countries and taking them over, it's that financially they can't afford it. China really needs income, in order to manage things.
Their unemployment rate is very high right now.
Right. But also, that's an interesting thing. So I just don't think that China and Russia are our immediate problems. Okay.
Well, they are problems, but they're not as powerful as we thought they were. One, two.
That's correct.
NATO, I think, within a year or two of the Soviet Union falling, NATO should have been disbanded. There was no reason for NATO to continue to exist, except there are a lot of people making money through NATO. Okay? Same old, same old. And most of that money is coming from where? Our pockets. The pockets of the taxpayers of the U.S. You say, oh, yeah, the U.S. gives money. The U.S. doesn't give money. The U.S. has no money to give except what it takes from our pockets. Okay? So they are funding an organization that is no longer necessary and that is just a drain on our economy.
I mean, if there's one thing that Trump has taught the average American, is that the majority of these organizations are simply fronts for graft. They're simply they're simply laundry devices for money. So money comes in, they push money this way, that way. Maybe they get some ammunition, but basically that's about it. And the fact of the matter is, Obama's part of this fucking problem because of the fact that Obama is the one who was pushing the Ukraine to be in NATO after there was an agreement that Ukraine would never be part of NATO. Exactly. So they were breaking their own word, and they put Ukraine in the midst, and the Ukrainian people got stuck. And what they didn't figure is the Ukrainian people turned out to be extremely crafty. and they turned out to be dangerous, and they're not giving up. And Russia is, from a political point of view, is being seen only as the bully, and not a bully that's winning the fight either. A bully that basically is not as tough as we thought he was. And
no bully is ever as tough as you think he is.
Right. Well,
otherwise he wouldn't be a bully.
Right. But I think in our particular case, in the United States, the real danger is inside our country, not outside.
Oh, yeah.
You have the forces in California, vast amounts of resources being basically
stolen.
Either wasted, poorly managed, or just stolen. You know,
whether they're wasted or poorly managed, they're still going into the pockets of politicians and their cronies. So it's all being stolen, period.
Yeah.
And they're allowing these goddamn Somalis to steal $96 billion from our economy. This is why our Social Security can only go up maybe 2 to 3% a year, because they're giving it to go ahead. They're giving it to people who shouldn't have it.
Every time I hear about those Somalis, the first thing that comes into my mind is from the halls of Montezuma to the stores of Tripoli.
Yeah, right.
That song was created because of the Somali pirates. And guess what?
Not Somali pirates. No, not the Somali pirates. Tripoli, the Libyan pirates.
Still I thought there was Somali.
No, it was Muslims. It was
61 half does
Tripoli. Oh, by the way, since we're talking about fighting, you know, we should have opened with this. What about what happened at what the FBI uncovered a plot that would have had an attack on the White House during the UFC event on Sunday night. Okay, they were going to attack. Their plan was to have drones attack buildings nearby and the crowd, which was inside the White House lawn. There were a lot of billionaires there. They planned to kill them. And then when the crowd outside started running, they were going to have snipers in place to kill the people fleeing the carnage. And thank God the FBI found. They've only arrested 5 people last I heard, but the plot was extensive because they had to have drone operators. They had to have the snipers. I want to see every single one of them either hanged or go to Gitmo forever.
Well, there was over 20 people involved in the thing, and they are going to. First of all, Kash Patel, thank you. His people uncovered this, and also this all stemmed from the fact that one particular mother was hyper aware of the fact that all of a sudden her son was buying a bunch of guns and ammo, and she got worried, and she was asking questions, and that's how this thing triggered. But the thing is that this constant assault on our public figures is a direct result of opposition leadership's continued maligning, disparaging, and actually demonizing,
inciting to violence.
people like yes, they've basically they've created this madness where these mad dogs come out. Now, an operation this big. Now, their intent was to basically create an assault, cause a stampede of the population there to go funnel through a location where they had snipers set up where they would mow down the people running out.
Yeah.
So it was highly, So very bad.
No. Kash Patel, God bless him, he does a job. They tried, the leftist media tries to portray him as a drunk, this and that, but you know what? The guy plays hockey regularly to keep in shape and so forth. The guy is not. He drinks socially, but he's not a drunkard. He's very capable, and it's just the left and it's lapdog media again trying to put down anyone and everything connected to the Trump administration. Meanwhile, you had trannies who are mentally unstable to begin with in positions of power in the Biden regime. I won't call it administration. It's a regime, and it was run by Obama.
Well, the thing is that Ulysses S. Grant was also burdened with this lie about him being a drunkard.
He was a big drinker, but
yes, but some people can handle it, and you know what? If I'm a freaking general and thousands of lives are involved, every once in a while I need to forget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to blow off some steam. So the thing is, there was this. I forget. I think it was Iranians that basically funneled a bunch of people into this one building, this mosque, and they took them out. And what they did was they monitored their cell phones, and whenever there was some sort of activity, they would monitor the cell phones, and they came up. They determined the pattern of where these people were running to, and they're running to this one location, which was a mosque. And when they did it again to trigger these folks into there, they all ran into the mosque, and that's when they hit the mosque hard. So, the thing is
that the one that the Israelis? I saw a picture of it. They're doing the call to Allah, and all of a sudden you see the boom, the whole thing goes. That was a few days ago, right? Yeah. The Israeli jets did that.
I saw bits and pieces of it. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, if you're ever in a situation where you really need to not be found, toss the freaking phone.
Yeah. That's the one thing that Hollywood does get right. When people are running from the authorities or whatever, or from evil, they break the phone and throw it away.
Right. And, I don't even know. See, the thing is that also includes if you have an Easy Pass. Or
yes,
that might even have to do.
That's why they want an Easy Pass. That's why they institute Easy Pass, so they know exactly where you've been.
And also it puts people out of work.
Yeah. But the Easy Pass, also even the New York City subway, you have the Metro card, because that can tell people exactly where, that can tell the government exactly where anyone was at any given time. And where they went, where they came from, everything.
See, here's another thing, folks. I prefer to use cash. Why? Because it diminishes what I like to call a digital footprint. That is, if I use a credit card all over the place, number one, I become more vulnerable to scammers and to hackers, right?
True.
Number two, I'm creating a database for somebody to look at and say, these are his behaviors, these are his wants, this is what he does, this is the kind of person he is. They can actually make deductions on a highly sophisticated level that go well beyond just what you buy. They can actually make real decisions about who and what you
now
are.
They've got AI helping them too, and facial recognition on everything. They're going to be tracking people through cars. It's a law already that was passed by 2027. I think all new cars are supposed to have the ability to track you and to control your car. So that if they think, oh, this guy's driving erratically, we got to stop his engine.
If you want to learn something about facial recognition, go to a site called You Are Me, and that is all about surveillance.
But is that the letter U or the word U?
The letter U.
You Are Me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm going to check that out. You Are Me. Okay, cool. What else was I talking about? Which is interesting
because if you wear a pair of glasses and you have pictures of other people's faces on your glasses on the sides, the scanner will actually pick up the other faces.
Oh,
it's funny. Now here's the thing. It's old information, so for all I know, it's no longer useful. I mean, they may have gotten around that.
Well, there are some. It's illegal in some states to have a blue light shining to somehow cover up your license plate, and that includes shining a blue light on the license plate because cameras can't pick up anything that's blue.
Pity. Well, here's an interesting thing. Here's something I absolutely despise: these robo cameras that go ahead and scan you your license plate, and let's say it says you went through a red light.
Yeah.
You get this thing a week or two later. It goes, you went through a red light. Did I? I don't know. I don't even remember being there.
No, they send you a picture.
You know?
They send you a picture.
Yeah.
I got a picture of speeding in New York. I think, because I was going, at the time, I was going 40 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. Okay. And I happened to hit the accelerator because the light was about to turn red. It was too late to stop. I didn't want to get caught going through the light. So I accelerated a little, and they caught me at going at 40 miles an hour. I hate driving through New York because of that, 25 miles. And then the GPS would say, speed camera ahead, speed camera ahead. Yeah. I'm like, just tell me where there's no speed camera.
Yeah.
That's
probably where they have the most.
Let's see.
So let's talk about Trump's peace agreement. He's trying to get the Abraham Accords active, so this way the Middle East will be down in harmony. Yes, and that would also include Israel. And now the thing is that Hezbollah has not stopped attacking Israel. So that's why they're dealing with stuff in Lebanon.
Okay, that I'm not sure. I know that Israel has attacked Lebanon, but some people are saying
think the number is
what?
1,000 rockets. I believe the number is 1,000 rockets in the past 5 days
that they've been shooting at Israel. They've been shooting at Israel every day.
Yeah. It's what they do.
Oh, so a lot of people believe that Israel has always opposed the Palestinian state. 6 times at least, Israel agreed to give Palestine their own state. All 6 times. Arafat was the one who rejected most of them. But they said, no, we don't want this agreement. And then the next day they declared war on Israel. And they got their asses kicked. And Israel expanded its borders. Now, Gaza, I remember years ago. What?
The UN offered that.
But the Palestinians have rejected every single solution. And Israel was ready to go along with it.
Jerry Seinfeld. There is no such thing as Palestine.
There is none. No, it was a name that the British had it because the British owned it. So the British named it Palestine and put the Jews there. So taking up 3% of the Middle East, and the Arabs, oh no, we can't have that. Okay. Anyway, so right away, as soon as Israel was founded, seven Arab nations declared war, and the Israelis were able to defend themselves. That was a miracle in itself. Okay. Anyway, what was I saying? Do you remember years ago when Gaza came to be a Palestinian refugee center? I remember seeing videos of Israeli soldiers dragging Jewish settlers away from their farms, away from their homes, away from their kibbutzes in Gaza, because they took them away because they were giving it to the Palestinians so that the Palestinians could have their own state. And the dream was that they were going to have their own little Riviera or Monaco or whatever in the Middle East. Okay. Instead, they left behind one thing that the Israelis left behind. 2 things they left: an irrigation system, because it was all desert, but the Israelis had turned it into productive agricultural land, and they left greenhouses full of crops. What did they do as soon as the Palestinians took over? The PLO under Arafat, they destroyed all the greenhouses. They dug up the pipes and they started using the pipes for rockets to shoot at Israel. And then the people of Gaza had nothing. And then they idiotically elect Hamas to run things after Arafat dies. Okay. And they've been slitting their own throats ever since. They complained about Israel. They're the ones at fault. Okay. They're the ones always starting the wars. They're the ones refusing to abide by any agreements, and even refusing their own state. They want Israel out of there. They don't care. You could give the Palestinians land 10 times bigger than Israel. They still would want Israel and the Jews killed. And none of the surrounding Arab nations, I think there are about 7 of them, none of them want the Palestinians there because they have had the Palestinians there. And every time they went into one of these other countries, they had to get kicked out. I think in Jordan, they tried to kill the king. So he had to start a war to get them out. Syria, I think, took a 7-year civil war to kick them out. They went into Egypt. They started trouble there. They got kicked out of Egypt. And Egypt is a stronghold of the Muslim Brotherhood, right? Who's every member of whom should be killed. Man, woman, and child should be killed. Okay, they are vicious, evil people. And anyway, any country surrounding them will not take Palestinians or Gazans.
Okay.
They won't take them. And they are Arab. They're Arabs originally from Jordan, really. That's who Palestinians are. And then people say, "Oh, you're racist. You're this." I'm not racist. I'm a realist. I see what's going on. I hear what they themselves say, that they're going to conquer us, this and that. Bullshit. Fuck you.
You know, I forgot who said it, but this was in response to the declaration that the person was racist because of the fact that they had mentioned some statistics with certain ethnicities. And this, I think, happened in England. And the response from this other person is, mentioning a person's ethnicity is not in and of itself racist. And that kind of put the kibosh. I got some good news for you. The governor primary in California, Xavier Becerra, okay, got 2 point. Yeah, however you want to pronounce his name, because he's going out.
What about it?
Yeah, 258, 2.5 million votes. Steve Hilton got 2.3 million votes. So that's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a runoff.
Yeah, because
which they're going to try and steal the way they stole Los Angeles.
Yeah, the thing is that they found out that a large number of those votes were paid for. They were actually giving homeless people $2 to $5 to.
So when are they going to do something about it and remove those votes? Okay.
Well,
the runoff should be between Karen Bass and. Go ahead.
Here's the thing: what they did is without a doubt illegal. Paying somebody to vote is illegal. Their argument was that sometimes you have to motivate people to vote. Well, that's interesting, but that has nothing to do with the fact that it's still illegal to give somebody money to acquire a vote. That is illegal. So the people involved in that are in freaking trouble. Plus, all those votes become suspect. Now, Pratt noticed that 40-something thousand of the votes were for
43
ramen noodles girl. Yeah. So the thing, and that matches the same number as the homeless people in that area. So that's another thing, is that statistically, it's unrealistic to presume that every single vote came in. Yes. But it's unrealistic.
Not
impossible.
Or Bass.
Yeah. Statistically, all the experts say this is an impossibility, and that is that all the votes went to Rahman. Now, let's say all those votes are primarily Democrat. Well, since you have two heavy hitters, so to speak, Rahman, who actually was in third, and then the Brillo girl, yeah, pain in my bass. But anyway, so to think that a portion of those votes would not have gone to Bass is statistically unrealistic, since she's the favorite. So Rahman should not have gotten all, and I mean all of the votes. It's just simply
it's obvious fraud.
It's obvious fraud. So the thing is, then on top of that, we're talking about people buying votes and so forth like that. There's going to be a shakeup. And what they didn't figure on, and this is amazing, is that Pratt is still generating his message. He hasn't walked away. He is still hammering them with the truth. He's still talking. And the thing is, Hilton, who could very much become the next governor, specifically spoke to Pratt and said, don't worry, we'll take care of that.
Well, the other thing is,
I forget the exact word.
The other thing is, not only did all 43,000 of those votes go for Rahman, okay, how do you know they were all Democrat? I mean, some of those homeless people might have voted for Pratt for whatever reason. But anyway, here's what happened. Here's why they all went to they gave them $2 a piece to get their vote, and then they said, "We'll fill this out for you. It's complicated." And they filled out the ballots, and the people just signed them, and that was it.
Yeah.
What?
Well, here's the thing. Here's another problem. Another problem is this: the way California voting is that you don't have to put your signature on the ballot. You can just put a mark. If you put a mark, then it has to be witnessed. Okay, so somebody can witness your mark. But here's the thing. The witnesses are not verified. In other words, if you were in California right now and somebody put a mark on a piece of paper, supposedly, and you signed your name to it, you would be valid. That would be a valid vote. A person not even in that state. So without a relationship with them whatsoever. So the rules are so fallacious. It's ridiculous.
They're made for fraud.
Cheating.
Yeah.
They're made specifically to cheat.
Another revelation about Democrats. Look who they have picked to run in Maine. A guy who had a Nazi tattoo that he tried to obliterate on his chest. Okay? An SS tattoo. All right?
Okay.
So the Democrats in Maine have picked a Nazi to win the primary and run for governor.
Or at the very least, a Nazi lover.
Senator. What's that?
Or at the very least, a Nazi lover.
Yes, if not a Nazi outright, he's a Nazi lover. That's right. But he also is really a scumbag. I mean, he said that if anybody broke into his house, he'd rape them and stuff like that. You know, most normal people would say, "I'll shoot him or hold him at gunpoint till the cops come or whatever, or subdue him and call the cops." No, he would rape them. This guy's a lunatic.
Not in a gay way.
But you know what? All Democrats are lunatics these days. The Democrat Party is not what it used to be under JFK. Nowhere near it. Okay. I know you have things to do. It's 2:00. I know you have somewhere to be. So you want to...
I have a meeting to...
Right.
Yeah, I've had more than enough, Joe. So, yeah, I'm ready to call it quits.
I and the audience have had more than enough of you as well.
Yes. Well, you know, sounds like my first wife.
Okay, folks, we hope you enjoyed this back and forth here on The View from Here, Behind Enemy Lines. And we hope, we hope to see you again next time. next Tuesday, we are scheduled to interview Humberto and Danny, I think, Cancio, and who have written a book about the truth about Cuba and the Castros, and that should be a very interesting episode. Okay, so we will see. And in the meantime, I'm going to see if I release maybe one of our old old recordings I have in the vault that was never published.
Why not this one?
Why not what?
Do this one.
No, this one's going up today. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to publish this one today. But this weekend, I'm going to publish something that we have in the vault. And that's it.
Right.
So we will. All right. I've taken enough time saying goodbye. We'll see you next time on The View from Here, Behind Enemy Lines. As Joe Biden might say, the end, fade away.
Yeah.
Where's my mouse?
Wish he would.
See you guys.